Identify the whirlwind activity, the whirlwind tasks that take your time and hence limit your ability to focus on your top priority goals. What are some whirlwind activities? You are a manager in the office, and each time you get to the office, you need to socialize, greet your colleagues. You need to sit down. When you get to the office, you sit down, you take up the newspaper, you flip through the pages. Okay, these are the things, and then you get to your computer, you open your email, you scan through some mails. Maybe you get to Facebook, you check some posts, you click on some likes, make some comments. You get to Twitter, you do the same. You get to Instagram, you do the same. You get to maybe you just dance around social media. And by the time you look at your time, it's 11:30, it's time for lunch, or 12. You get up and you go for lunch. You come back from lunch by around 1, and your actual day starts by 1. So you start working from 1. By the time you raise up your head, it is 5 minutes to 5. You need to leave by 5. So you pack and you go. The actual productive hours you have actually put in is 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. You were not productive for the whole day. Now, the activities you did between 8 and 12 are whirlwind activities. The activities that just see you going around. Most times it is meetings. There are some meetings that are not necessary. There are some meetings that you don't even have to be there. They just ask you to come and just listen. And you throw in. But Daniel purposed in his heart. So Daniel knew that what I'm supposed to do is to have a purpose in my heart. So Daniel purposed in his heart that he will not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. And what did this do for Daniel? What did this do for Daniel? In Daniel chapter 1, verse 8. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Now look at Daniel chapter 1, verse 15. And at the end of 10 days, their countenances appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. 10 days. 10 days. 1 week, 3 days. Now, Daniel proposed in his heart. There are some other measures that are called lag measures. Let's take, for example, a student wants to have an A in an exam. And the way he writes in that exam will determine if he will have an A or not. The way he studies for that exam will determine if he's going to come out with flying colors or not, with distinction. Now, he doesn't have control over how the lecturer reads his answer script. He doesn't have control over the lecturer's mood. He doesn't have control over when the lecturer will mark his script, but he has control over how he studies for that exam. Let's take a contractor as another example. The contractor wants to bid for a contract. 1,000 people are coming to bid for that contract, but one person must get the contract. The way he prepares the contract documents and papers and everything, his proposal will determine if he will get this contract or not. So there are things that you have full control over. your lead measures, identify them. In the achievement of this goal, what are the things I have? A young professional is going for an interview. What are his lead measures? He wants to get this job as a data scientist. He wants to get the job probably as a HVAC engineer. What are his lead measures? He needs to ensure that he has the knowledge of that area of expertise at his fingertips. He needs to study to show himself approved. So when he's being asked questions on what he's to be employed for, the interviewer should say, this is excellent. Even if there are so many candidates, he should say, no, this is the person we want. Daniel consistently sought for knowledge, which was a lead measure for him in his desire to see Israel liberated from Babylon. He did every other thing, but he also made sure that he acted on his lead measures. Now, let's imagine that Daniel was a chorister. Daniel learned how to play the keyboard. Daniel learned how to repair the generator. He learned so many things, but he did not act on his lead measure. What do you think would have happened? What was his lead measure? He purposed in his heart that he will not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. So he said, do you know what? No matter what happens, I will not eat this. He strengthened his relationship with God. He ensured that he had that unbroken communion and fellowship with God. And at the end, when they were tested, after 7 days, after 1 week and 3 days, after 10 days, he came out excellent. He came out well. Now, the next activity we will do is you will write down the lead measures that would help you achieve the goals that you have identified in discipline 1. The goals that you have identified, you need to write out the lead measures that will help you to identify those goals. Now, discipline 3.